So I'm glad that we had that conversation. Everybody out there in TV land that's a Donnie fan, a Prince Ralph fan, it made me feel a lot better. And I'm glad that I'm not the only person that has these kind of conversations. Oh, you're good. I was just making sure the Grim Reaper wasn't following me. It's a joke. You're good. Yeah. I'm a forensics officer. You're fine. All right. So anyways, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad that a lot of podcast guys these days, you know, they have these kind of conversations with their fans, because more guys need to hear this kind of encouragement. There's so many guys that try and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to give you the secrets to being a millionaire or a billionaire or the alpha code or any of that stuff. What really helps out a lot of guys like me, or really like anybody from any walk of life, is that you have guys that have a heart-to-heart with other guys, because it's cheap when you're just out there trying to have a heart-to-heart with women. It really is. You know, it's not that, you know, we shouldn't, but, you know, as guys, right, you're going to need a guy friend for when a woman breaks your heart, or whenever we fall short of the glory of God or of perfection or whatever, you know, any of that. You know what I mean? You know, a guy can help cheer you up. A female can help cheer you up that is not your girlfriend. But you need somebody who is unbiased and is going to give you some honest advice that is really going to be neither here nor there, right? So, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, your girlfriend, you know, your guys that you know, that maybe they're your roommates, maybe they're your neighbors, maybe they're your classmates. They might not be indifferent, but they just really, you know, they're kind of like middle ground, right? You're not trying to befriend them or integrate into their community or whatever, or their frat or whatever, a sorority, whatever it is. But you just want it to be a lot smoother and less awkward whenever you see them, wherever you're at. Whether it's a Starbucks, whether it's a McDonald's, whether it's the nightclub or the streets, right? So at the end of the day, what it really boils down to is us having confidence in ourselves. Not just as men, but as women too. But, you know. Alright? You get what I'm saying? So I say this because a lot of us base our life, and you've heard this before, even I've heard this before, a lot of us base our life as men on whether we get laid, you know, whenever we go home with our wife or our girlfriend, you know? And some people even think that because you're married to somebody, they have to make love to you every night, and they don't. They could actually say no, you know? And believe it or not, you know, I don't want to get into a dark area, but, you know, rape can occur whenever you're married to somebody. She doesn't have to say yes to you just because you're married to her. And a lot of people don't agree with that. Some people do, but it's true. You know what I mean? It's really true. It's the woman's body. It's her right to say no. And that's why I really definitely support a lot of feminists when it comes to that shit. But long story short is, as a guy, right, we should not feel less of a man whenever we can't perform, or whenever we can perform, but we decide to fumble our splurge. And what I do mean, I don't mean masturbate, but somehow you let the magic out. Okay? You don't have to be a genius. You notice I'm not talking around a bunch of people. But this is a serious conversation. Believe it or not, if you go to church, pastors have these conversations, usually in men's groups, but, you know, they'll lightly just shed a light on it and not go into details. If you're articulate, you know how to do that. But the point is, you shouldn't feel less of a man. And this is what a lot of religions are really talk about, you know, and this is the good thing about religions. It explains the beauty and why God created creation, and how you can find joy in life without focusing on sex so much. Right? And some people say, well, I don't get it, Donnie, because, you know, I see that sometimes you're working out and you're focused on your body looking good. You know, you might even go to a GNC store or whatever, or, you know what I'm saying? Listen, man, this is why one man's tomato is another man's tomato, okay? If you drink protein shakes, or some concoction, you find your cocktail, that doesn't mean you're going to use it to go get laid. What one guy uses to go get laid, another guy takes so he can perform when it comes to carrying out his job as a construction worker or the back-breaking work of whatever he does. It could be a landscaper, it could be a sanitation worker. And this is a loophole for a lot of guys who say, oh, the only reason why I go to the GNC store for the billionth time in a row is because my back hurts and the doctor won't give me what I asked for. And their wife says, okay, honey, but no more nookie tonight. Because those guys ran through their past a billion years ago and they're still trying to keep on running through it. Okay? They got married and they forgot that the beauty in it is also to raise kids, not just that, but to be a friend to your wife and not just use her as a toy. But aside from that, when you actually are willing to do that, okay? Because there are a lot of guys that are living in abstinence. Okay? I'm one of them. I've been practicing abstinence for 4 years straight. I've had sex a couple times. I've gone on a date, probably like maybe around like 5 to 10 times. Probably 5-6 times, something like that. But it's because what I'm looking for these days and time is a quality relationship. Not just a love relationship. I'm talking about friendship, right? I'm not out here looking for specifically a girlfriend or a wife. I'm out here really looking for study partners, okay? Business partners and friends. Study partners, business partners, and friends. It's an ongoing theme in any of my platforms, and you know that unless you're delusional and you just want to believe that I'm the same person that I was 20 years ago. Study partners, business partners, and friends. That's it. And if love happens, it happens. But here is what I'm saying to you. You have to go to work the next day. I have to go to work the next day. Michael Jordan, when he was, the legendary basketball player that he was, just like Shaquille O'Neal, just like all of them, Chris Webber, Charles Barkley, the guys from my generation, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter, right? LeBron, all of them, whatever, right? You're going to lose some games. You're going to lose a lot of games. Hopefully not consecutively, but across the board, you're going to lose enough games to make you regret even starting to play the sport you play or taking the profession that you chose to choose seriously. Whether it's police work, the rap game, whatever industry it is. Being a doctor, being a lawyer, being a pastor, it doesn't matter. You're going to lose a lot of games. You're going to lose the favor of people. Your rejection is a part of life. It's going to happen big time. But even when you lose, you have to show up the next day. Because if you don't show up the next day for yourself, if I don't show up the next day for myself, I'm not going to make any money. Everything that happens from that point on is left to chance, to the roll of the dice. And I'm no longer in control anymore. Now, there's things that I'm not in control of, and there's things that I am in control of. That's what the Serenity Prayer is for. That's what religion is for. All right? The faith is the hoping and the things that can't be seen. When you're spent, but you're not washed. And when I say washed, I mean washed up, I mean all the way. It's okay to be spent. It's a part of life to be spent. So keep spending that shit. Spend that shit. Spend that shit. But only spend it if it's an investment worth investing in. Only roll the dice if you want to crap out, because sometimes it's better to crap out than to win something that's literally from out of a fucking cereal box. Alright? I don't want it. Show up is the point of the day. Show the fuck up. Go to work, or go to school, or hit the block and sell your music, because it's not a wicked rock and it ain't a jump shot. There is nobility in being an entrepreneur, even if you're a startup. There is nobility in startup mom and pop shit. But there is no nobility in not showing up and staying in bed and pouting because you were surfing on the web and surfing on your bed and you spent that shit and you decided to stay home instead of going out in the world and making the magic happen all again by learning to serve people without anything in return being expected. That's when the love wells up in your bottom of your balls. That's when it wells up in your stomach, in the bottom of your shoes, in your heart, and every fiber of you. Other than that, it's all in the head and it ain't real. It's fake, it's out of cereal box, and nobody wants it because they're gonna see through it. It's a half-ass love. It's not real love that anybody's looking for. Come home and show up to your girlfriend and sit at the dinner table and eat what the fuck she makes you. Or whatever you got. Talk to your kids, spend time with your kids. Hang out with your roommates. Have fake-ass conversation. Who gives a fuck? That's showing up. Sometimes you gotta be fake. Not to make it, but to weather the storm. It's called acting, all right? There's a difference between being fraudulent and being acting. And some of you don't know the difference, but those of you know the difference are still alive. And the ones that don't are the ones that didn't want to act. So they got taken out by a terrorist or a criminal that is a cop hater or a law student hater or anybody that's a hater of somebody that's doing good. Life is not all about fucking. It's not all about drugs. It's not all about a Grammy. It's not all about a platinum album. It's not all about money. Money is important. All those things actually do have a place. But when we're born, you can't bust a nut. Sometime in the middle of your life, you develop this ability to experience what you think is happy, and you're able to bust a nut. And then when you return, before you return, you lose the ability to bust a nut. So what replaces that happiness? Something. Because if it doesn't, you're going to lose the will to survive. You're going to do something bad to yourself, or you're going to be susceptible to something bad happen to you because you stop caring about yourself, and you shouldn't. Protect yourself. Protect your feelings. Value yourself. Know your worth, because it's not in your balls. It's every fucking part of you. And I know that sounds corny as fuck, but you're really gonna get it if you ever fucking get it. And that is the meaning of life. And the meaning of life, I hate to tell you, is a rugged fucking cross. And it's not just found in Christianity, it's also found in psychology when you think like a fucking cop. You hear me? Think about John McClane on Die Hard and all those movies that he played, Bruce Willis. How many times in those movies was his wife happy with him? In Die Hard 1, he was already divorced or on his way. Die Hard 2, he was divorced. All those Die Hard movies, he was divorced in every single one. The Last Boy Scout, I think you did meet his wife. I think he was suffering a divorce. But the football player guy, the Keenan Wayans guy, or the Marlon Wayans guy, thought his shit was bad because his girlfriend died. But McClane, well, it wasn't McClane in that movie, but Bruce Willis was like, my life is no better and I'm here to protect you. Think of Nick Nolte on Cape Fear. He wasn't even the bad guy. He was a good guy. He was a lawyer. He was trying to help Robert De Niro, but Robert De Niro, he wasn't feeling him. So at the end of the day, it doesn't even fucking matter because he was trying to save his daughter from the guy, and his daughter was in some trance. And his wife, as much as she was right about him losing his ball juice, she kind of was feeling him too. She was like, you know what? Even though I got to help you be a man and stand up for the both of us and just give him my ass so he leaves us alone. Believe it or not, I'm kind of turned on by the guy. And my body is. It's not my mind. But I'm going to get it over with because somebody got to do it and you're not doing it. So on those days, you got to do it. Nick Nolte, he had to come up with a quick-ass fucking plan. He had to be like, you know what? This motherfucking
derelict, Dirk Diggler ass nigga is not leaving me the fuck alone, dog. And that's when you realize that a successful white man's nightmare is not always a black guy from the hood. Sometimes it's a guy like that, and he's purely white, but he's what white people call white trash, right? You look at the movie Ghost, Patrick Swayze, the guy that killed them was a Mexican, but the guy that was behind his all was his co-worker, and they both looked no different from each other. He wasn't even white trash. He looked classy, but on the inside, he was the same thing as Thor's brother. And at the end of the day, it's not a colored game. It's up here. It's psychological warfare. It's spiritual warfare. And the only way that you can win is when you stop taking value in what Christians call carnal, right? I'm Christian too, but I'm a scientist. I'm a forensic scientist. With me, it's more like the law of attraction and the law of detachment. I just stick to just logistics, all right? Religious people, right? All right? That's just what it is, dog. That's really what it is. Showing up. Showing up with no spirit, and in the middle of the game when you don't even want to play, finding that spirit, and then you're going to be like, oh shit, more bounce to the ounce, and then it's time for the percolator song is going to come out of nowhere, and you're going to be grooving and moving like you're fucking John Travolta on Pulp Fiction. You know, you're going to be all in it, you know what I'm saying, by that time. But don't wait until, you know, you pop a molly to feel good. Feel good when you don't want to feel good. And then you're going to understand what rope-a-dope means when you're Rocky in the 6th round and it's starting to register. Like, wait a minute, I can win, I think I can, I know I can. There is no tomorrow.